Gardens in Minecraft, something that brings character and atmosphere to any build. A Minecraft world without gardens is like Ratchet without Clank, Jack without Daxter, Nathan Drake without Sully, or EA without trying to swindle us of every penny we have. It just wouldn't be the same, would it? Something vital is missing, so today I'm going to be going over 15 gardening tips and tricks to give your worlds that secret sauce to bring them to life. So first up guys, we have little planters here where you can build little trees that are sat in its own little pot. All you need to do is place down a composter, fill it up to the top. A is pretty good for that. Then you need to shift click on a fence. Then you can start placing in leaves however you like. Now, as you can see in my Season 3 Let's Play world that we have started recently, in front of this house we have planters randomly put out the front here, and some of them are flowering, some of them are not, just to make it look a bit more natural. And as we turn around and go across the bridge here past these market stalls, we have just them lined up along the edge here to give it a lot more life. Adding furniture is a great way to improve your gardens. There are many types of furniture that can be added to a garden to make it look more realistic. Park benches, fancy outdoor dining, picnic tables with chairs made from campfires that you can easily put out with a shovel, swinging tree seats, umbrellas, all sorts of stuff. All of these can provide more context to what an area is for and ground it more in reality. You can even add little wheelbarrows made out of composters, grind wheels, and fence gates. You can also make them with cauldrons and a few other blocks. All of these things are pretty easy to build, my friends, so just pause the video and check them out. My next tip is one of my favorites, my friends. We can get these awesome flowers out here on our little rivers here. So all you need to do is take yourself a warped trapdoor, and just it can be difficult because I've already filled this up. What you need to do is shift click on them, bring them to where you want them in the lake. They need to be on the water level like so like that. Let's move our fat head out the way. Now you have a trapdoor out here. All you need to do is get yourself a brain coral fan, place that on top, and that will stay waterlogged and look very cool. You can also take lily pads and surround it. Unfortunately guys, lily pads themselves are just directional however they feel like going. You can't actually place them in a certain direction. They all just float all over the place, but I think that is pretty cool. And one other little tip guys is you can place lanterns underneath lily pads, which I think looks very fantastic, especially at nighttime when it's lighting everything up. Just place a couple of lanterns under here. You can do this with the normal lanterns or the soul lanterns, and I think that looks really cool. Let's replace this one as well. And as you can see, we now have a fantastic looking pond. Another cool little feature you can add into your world is log piles, piles of logs. So you want to make them at slightly different lengths all over the place here. You probably want to make the middle one a little bit long so you can place some on top as well. I think what I'll do is go a little bit longer here as well, like that. Make those all different lengths. You can place another log up on top, so it just looks like someone's storing wood for the winter or something like that. And you can also grab some rails, put them over the top like this, so it looks like they're being held down, just like so. And that really looks like a nice little log pile at the back of someone's house. It could be in their garden or in a little paddock at the back, but yeah, it is a nice detail. And another idea to go along with that wood pile idea is in this little estate that I built in Season 2 of Sticks Plays Minecraft. I built this wood shed here. We have logs, and then you have put out campfires on top of it to make it look like a really cool little wood shed. Very nice. Azalea bushes, moss blocks, and moss carpets make absolutely fantastic hedges. Very easy to make, my friends. Just lay out some coarse dirt underneath, place down azalea trees, and then place some moss blocks on that. And to give it a bit of change in height and things, place on some mossy carpets every now and then, and you'll get this fantastic hedge design. You can even make it one block higher if you so please, which gives a very, very crazy big hedge. You can actually go even higher. These are really, really cool. Flower beds are extremely easy to make, my friends. You just need to place down some coarse dirt. I think it looks much better with coarse dirt. Then you can use trapdoors to surround it, like so. Just like this. Very, very easy. And then place in the flowers that you want inside your flower bed. You don't need to surround these in trapdoors either. You can use logs or stone or anything that makes a really cool container. Flower beds can be of any size, any shape, and can go in front of windows, on buildings, anywhere really, and you can use any type of flower or bushes or anything like that to make it look really, really cool. The next trick is something I have only recently started using myself, and that is these hanging baskets. You can use chains or fences to make it look like you're hanging plants from the ceiling. Now they don't actually connect to the pot, but they usually, most of the time, connect pretty closely to the flower or sapling or little bush that you put inside it, so they all look really, really cool here hanging around. And this is definitely one of my favorites. This technique can also be used with levers. If we come over here, you can see the lever is onto the chain there, and then you can have lanterns or the same thing with the pots on it, and I think that is really cool as well. Now, this is a tip that everyone puts in their video, but I had to put it in, guys, because it is so useful. String on top of things, or in the case of vines, underneath things. We can make them stop growing. Oh, actually, I just placed that in there. Now, you can see the strings here. It's very hard to see when you're away from it. It's only when you go right up close to things you can start to notice it. But as a general idea, you can stop vines growing. You can stop trees growing just by placing string on top of them, so you can have the sapling forever. This also works with bamboo. These all have string on top of them, and that's really cool. These will all stay at those heights now, because bamboo can get very tall, but if you want a nice short one like that, and just a quick extra tip, on these vines you can actually right click on them, and that will stop them growing as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on normal vines for some reason. I have no idea why. Where you put things in a garden can have huge consequences for its overall look. For instance, if you are building a large public space like in front of these government buildings here, you would want to have big open spaces in between your flower beds and trees. This will be a high traffic area for people living in the city, so it wouldn't make much sense to have small pathways everywhere where people would get stuck and bump into each other. This garden is also very symmetrical because of the type of garden it is. Flower beds are planted with the same flowers, and the same type of tree are planted in symmetrical patterns to give an organized and sophisticated look. This, however, would be very much out of place in a country house garden, which would be much more random and all over the place. Landscaping in Minecraft gardens is essential to giving an authentic vibe to a garden, making it feel like it really is part of the world. Giving a garden elevation and different areas also create a real world feel. As we can see in this mansion build, we have a little courtyard down the bottom that is a little messy. That leads upstairs to a more tamed and looked after part of the garden, before moving up even further to a flower garden surrounded by trees and flowers. These parts are all distinctively different, but still feel like they're part of the same garden. Having paths cut into the ground a little can also help with making things feel more grounded. Get it? Grounded? My comedic talent is wasted here. To get the mowed lawn effect, guys, all we need to do is alternate between grass and either green concrete powder or moss blocks. Now, I think the green concrete powder looks much better. That's the first bit that we pass over here. And on this other side of the path is the moss blocks. And I don't think it looks quite as good. But as you can see, gives a nice effect for a really nice kept area, either for richer looking houses, mansions, that sort of thing, where they would have nicely trimmed gardens. Just a quick notice here, guys, if you are enjoying this video, please head down below and hit that like button. It helps out the channel so much. And if you want more awesome content, hit that subscribe button. We got Let's Plays where we build things like this, and yeah, it's a pretty good time. Using walls to break up a garden is an excellent way to add height and diversity to a garden. A wall can be used to break the garden up into segments for different plants, or just to differentiate it from the rest of the garden. Building walls around a garden also gives them a nice enclosed and complete feeling. Another cool tip you can use is to put copper ore blocks behind vines on a wall to make it look like the vines have little flowers or fruit on them. This can also be done with redstone ore blocks. Well guys, next up is arches. Now these can be kind of tricky with square blocks because we're trying to make a nice rounded sort of thing here. So I have a couple of little just easy designs here. If you have a couple of these ones lined up in a row, they look pretty cool. Just on their own, they look a little bit silly. But we have this one over here, which is very, very covered in leaves. We do actually have a little thing here. So if you wanted to make a big tunnel out of these things, you could do it. Or you could just do these with a space in between, leave a few blocks and then build another one. I think they look pretty cool. And obviously azalea leaves are fantastic. Azalea flowers, they just make everything look really cool. Now this is the same as that design over there, but it just has a few less blocks on it, a few less leaf blocks, and you can tell that that actually helps out quite a bit. It's looking cool. It's not overgrown as much, and yeah, have a little path go through the middle, and I think that looks pretty cool. So you can do archways with stone or anything like that, but I just thought I'd show you a quick few examples just with some oak fences and leaves, which are pretty easy to make. Minecraft trees are okay, but adding custom trees into a garden will take it to the next level. Custom trees come in many different styles, and there are even worlds you can download with many custom tree templates for you to learn from. It can be hard at first to get the hang of. I mean, I'm still learning so much about custom trees, and I've been making them for a very long time now. However, it is one of the most rewarding and best things you can do to make your gardens better. The only tip I have for custom trees is to practice over and over again. Maybe even try in creative mode first, as it's much harder in survival. And finally guys, use bushes everywhere. Leaves, bushes, and grass. Just place them all over the place. They're so helpful. Use them to make hedges, just little bushes in the corner, make them to use little trees, all sorts of things. Trust me, leaves will help out your gardens, your builds, everything. They will just make everything so much better. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Firstly, I want to thank my patrons. They're on the screen right now. Thank you so much for keeping the channel going. And everyone else, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Like I said, it helps out the channel a bunch. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the very next video.